Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for season 3 of The Bear. Now, I wasn't planning on binging The Bear season 3, but then I started watching one episode and it was really good. And then I just kept going. And I saw over the course of the past couple of days, I actually went through all the episodes. Now, it's only 10 episodes. And for the most part, they're all like about 30 minutes each. The last two are a little bit longer. So it's not like the biggest time commitment for a season, but it's still a lot. Like I said, I didn't plan on binging this show. All right, let's talk about the cast. I'll talk a little bit of spoiler free. Then I'm gonna talk not so much spoilers, but I want to talk about some of my favorite cameos. So that might be a little spoilery, but that'll be till the end of the video or closer to. So, of course, we have Jeremy Allen White as Carmi. We have Eban Mos Backrack as Richard or Richie or cousin, which I'm very excited to see him in Fantastic Four. I think he's going to be a great Ben Grimm. We also have Ao Debris as Sydney, Lionel Boyce as Marcus, who Marcus pretty rough stuff with him this season. Lisa Colon Sayas as Tina, great arc. I think Tina is one of the characters that I feel has had the best character arc all throughout the 3 seasons. We also have Abby Elliott as Sugar, and Matthew Madison as Neil Fack, one of the Fack brothers. God, they are so good. They're so funny. Like everybody in that family is amazing. So I think interestingly enough, the season 3 reflects a lot the themes of what's going on with the restaurant, right? Because from what I've seen, some of the reviews are a little bit lower than season 2 and 1, and it almost feels like the show is a victim of its own success, which can parallel what's going on in the show with the restaurant, right? They finally got the restaurant open, but now will the restaurant be a victim to its own success? So very interesting that we have kind of those parallel, like they say, life imitates art. But yeah, this whole season, Carmi is just grappling with the fallout from the last season, his relationship with perfection. He's dealing with his trauma from specifically one of the previous people that kind of mentored him, and just all his indecisions that he has gone through the past few seasons, and his hesitancy towards the future. Like I said, I think striving for perfection may be Carmi's downfall. Yeah, it's definitely much. This is definitely a drama with just some like really fun, lighthearted moments, which I think it's expertly done. Um, you know, the show really shifts from a progression exploring Carmi's story in the restaurant to checking in on really everything, like looking at all the ingredients, if you will. I think it's really interesting that it's a very non-linear storytelling. Like we are moving forward little by little, but it all goes around so much. There were episodes where they would show something and then they would reference it back in another episode, and it was just so artfully. It's just so well done. I really like it. I did see a few critics kind of comparing this to Shakespearean play like Hamlet, and I think that's really fun. I think obviously there's definitely a lot of that stuff in here, and I mean Shakespeare has influenced a lot of media over the years, so I would not be surprised if that was definitely the case. Um, we also see a lot of different themes throughout the season being played out, both literally and metaphorically. We see death, I think, is one of the big ones. As few people, we revisit some previous losses and address some current losses. Also, restaurants don't have a long shelf life, so that's pretty interesting. We also see kind of new beginnings with some opportunities that come up. We see a lot of indecision from a lot of characters. I think I was gonna make a mention that Ao Edebri is part of two of the best representations of anxiety in media this year, right? Because she's in Inside Out too, and also she is in this. So like both of those, both Inside Out 2 and The Bear, have just such clear cut representations of how to show anxiety, which is really interesting. And obviously that's something that a lot of people deal with. Is very relatable. So there, I think the show really sets the bar and the tone of the season with the first episode called Tomorrow, because of how different the approach to it is. I saw a few people say that they were not fans of this episode, and I completely get that because it's very weirdly presented. It's got very little dialogue. It really kind of just goes through a lot of. It's almost like a recap episode of Carmi's life in his state of mind, but for like 30 minutes. There's a lot of quick edits. Like I said, very much anxiety inducing. There's another episode that has even more anxiety inducing in it. So, but the season overall, to me, it maintains the high quality storytelling. We have new sets, which is really cool to see. Now the restaurant, now they have to navigate this nicer restaurant that they've built and deal with those challenges. Some of the standout episodes for me are Doors, which is I believe episode 3, Napkins, which is I believe episode 6 or 7, uh, and then Ice Chips. Also, just woof, it is super intense. It feels almost like a bottle episode. It kind of like a little bit of a tangent, almost like the Seven Fish episode that we had last season. I don't think it's as intense. It's completely different. I just mean that it's kind of that was a separate episode from everything that was going on, kind of, but it's still related to a lot of things thematically, right? So we have some notable guest stars, which I'll talk about, including a lot of like real life chefs, which is really cool. And I think this season just kind of wants to explore a lot of the unresolved issues that have been going on, and it's really setting up for a fourth season since it's already been ordered. I think unlike the previous two seasons, this one feels like it has less of a finality. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I think a lot of people are fairly critiquing this show because it is very different from the previous two seasons, but I think the showrunners wanted to try something different. And I found it compelling and very satisfying overall. So yeah, highly recommend you check this out. Like I said, fast paced, beautiful storytelling, fantastic performances. I couldn't even tell you where to start as far as naming the performances. Um, okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of spoilers for my favorite cameos for this season. And I don't know if I would call. So I'm gonna start with John Barenthal. Of course, he returns as Mikey. Uh, I don't know if I would call him a cameo. He feels more like a guest star, in the same way that Uncle is kind of a guest star. But we also have Josh Hartnett comes back as Frank, who is um, cousin's ex-wife, her new husband or new boyfriend that they're going to get married. We also have Will Poulter coming back as Chef Luca, which I feel like they may be setting up for a recurring character in the next season. Maybe a little bit of a romantic endeavor with one of the characters. We also see Olivia Colman coming back as Chef Andrea Terry, who's great, just fantastic. I love her. I would watch a show about Chef Andrea. Like just it's she Olivia Colman is so good. We of course see Joel McHale once again as Carmi's old boss and the cause for all his anxieties, which is, I mean, again, fantastic performance. I don't know that you could cast that better, like right. But my favorite performance was John Cena shows up as he shows up as Sammy Pack, who's another one of those brothers, which is great. Like just that whole family is insane bananas. And the repertoire that he has with like the dialogue with his siblings as they're trying to help Carmi figure something out for the restaurant. It is so great. It is so great. So yeah, really enjoy this season of The Bear. Love that show so much. I can't wait to see where we go from here. As I am a little bit in spoilers, I will mention as 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 I mentioned, this season doesn't really have a lot of finality because it literally tells us to be continued in season 4. I feel like this is like season 3, part 1, and then we'll have a part 2. But obviously, they had to break it up into 2 seasons. So because there's a lot of things to be addressed. Carmi hasn't talked to Claire this whole season. He hasn't talked to Claire at all. So that is wild. Okay, there you have it. That's my review and my thoughts on The Bear. Go watch it. Go binge it. I normally don't like to binge shows, but my goodness, when it's this good, it's like you just can't put the knife down, right? You can't put the fork down. So let me know, what do you think of this season. Let me know who's your favorite character, who's your favorite cameo. Like, did you enjoy John Cena as much as I did? And yeah, of course, stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.